Hello, everybody. This is Denis Tyrell Knifeworks, and you are listening to the Triple T for Knife Makers podcast. I am back from the happiest place on earth to be in my shop, which is the second happiest place on earth. And with me, as always, is Jerid, who is at work all of the time, never in the happiest place on earth, but he persists. How's it
I
going?
do. What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good.
I still would like to just ask, you to officially answer Toby's question of why I wasn't even invited. Not that I could have went, but
because it was a family thing for Kim's birthday, and we just don't like you that much.
Apparently. I thought it was funny though. He was like, "That's my second home," and I was like, "That's not." Apparently, my second home is very expensive because
Yeah, that was. I could have gone to Mexico for what we paid for that trip for the family to go for 3 days, and Kim paid for most of it. So,
what do you mean Kim paid for most of it?
We have separate. We don't have joint accounts or anything.
What?
No.
How does that work?
She's got her money and I have my money. I pay certain bills and she pays certain bills.
Oh my God. Maybe I've just been married too long because I haven't had, all my money is not my money.
It's easier this way because then when I spend money on tools, it's not coming out of the general fund.
You guys don't have like a general fund? It's just two
No.
complete separate things. That's weird to me. I don't know why that's weird to me, but
When we first started,
cheers.
living together, drink your tears. I asked her if she wanted to combine, but she didn't want to. She had been a single mom for so long that she wanted control of her own money, so that was fine.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't clean when Lynn and I got married. And I think after a few years of us being together, we probably were married. Anyways, I got, because, we don't make good decisions. I didn't make good decisions when I was, back in the day. And I decided to fight with the bank.
Oh, I'm sure that went well.
Oh, it was great. So I got pissed off at them because of like overdraft charges. And so I switched banks and I left a little bit of money in this one. But for whatever reason, I had this gym membership that I had completely forgot about. And they kept dinging me. It was like $16 a month. It was super small. So it ding, 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 ding. And then when finally the funds were depleted, I got a notification that I was getting overdraft charges. And somehow it was like $300 to $400 negative on this account. And I decided to tell the bank where to go and how to get there. And then they kindly told me that, if you don't pay us our money, we're going to put you into collections and put me on something called check systems. I wonder if there's any other degenerates that ever
I don't know
on.
what that means.
It's like the nationwide blacklist for checking accounts. I could not get a checking account for like 6 years.
Wow.
I was
they give children checking accounts.
The bank that I switched to go to one day, I went in to go get money and they said, "Oh no, your account's closed." And I go, "What do you mean?" They go, "Oh, well, you're on check systems." I go, "What the fuck does that mean?" Then I go, one bank closed your account, put you on this thing, and now you can't have an account. I'm like, "But I have one with you." Like, and then they were like, "Yeah, no, you don't anymore." And I was like, "Well, give me my money." And then they were like, "No, we have to make sure you don't have any, like, because you're a scumbag. Like, you're just like a known repeat offender of having insufficient funds," which wasn't really the case, but. So by default, I had to couple up with Lynn, and for as long as I can remember, 20 plus years now, we've been joint, and it was pretty bad. But yeah, so it is pretty foreign to me, but of my own doing.
Well, speaking of bank woes, this is why I will never again have a Kohl's account. Kohl's, the department store.
This shit is good. Sorry to cut you off, but like,
what is it? Like, I know it says Tiger Tears, but what's in it? Like, what does it taste like?
It's like, and this is bad because I'm in in recovery, but it's like a hoppy sparkling water. So it's got what is it saying here? It's kind of dark in here. Strata hops. Yeah. Strata hops. 0 alcohol, no calories, dry hops, but it's got this like a very, very hoppy kind of taste. But the first time I was like, but now I'm starting to dig it. Like really good. By the end of the first can, I was like, I like it.
And nobody understood that little pause you just did, but
Which one?
the one where you just made a face and, this is radio and nobody understood that.
I think that went completely everyone. Yeah, we have to use the theater of the mind here, Dennis. So all they do is
Jared's
imagine
making faces at me, and instead of saying things like people are going to understand that.
Oh, I didn't even realize I did that. And then I have this note here that said, where is it? It's kind of down here a little bit, but it was like, I kind of miss Denis. Kinda.
You
And
just
I'm
scratched it out.
erasing it right now.
Oh,
But anyways, back to what you're.
it was not important. It was this.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So you guys got good joint checking accounts. That's great.
Yes,
and she paid for the trip, which is weird.
Yeah, most of the tickets. Well, we got, because Cameron is active military, so we got the tickets at I think they were almost 50% off.
Oh wow.
But he can only get 6 tickets, and there was 9 of us, so I had to buy 3 extra, my boys, and it was $1,200 for those 2 tickets just for the boys.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not cheap.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's good. How was the trip? Was it good? Was it fun?
Okay, so I got a whole bunch to tell you about this trip. First of all, okay, on the way, you're not gonna believe this. On the way down, so we're driving down. It's telling for everybody else, it's like a 5.5 hour drive, and if you hit traffic,
yeah,
it's
no traffic.
Yeah, it was just over 6 hours. It was a bunch of bullshit traffic. Anyway, we're in this bullshit traffic, and this white Honda. I just remember it was a Honda because I remember I was trying to catch up to the guy after, and you'll understand why. So someone comes up beside me, and I see this girl in the passenger side. So they come up on my left, and she's in the passenger side, and she's holding her phone up, and she's waving her phone, and she's kind of showing me her phone, and I'm like, what the? And then she kind of moves off, and then just as she's almost out of my past me, I realize she's showing me she's watching one of my Instagrams because I'm driving the Jeep and it says Tyrell Knifeworks on the side.
Oh, wow.
And I just had this confused look on my face. But as soon as she got past me, I figured it out. And then I felt bad and I tried to catch up to them so I could at least wave at them. So if you're listening and you saw me on Highway 5 on the way to Disney, send me a message. Maybe I'll send you something.
That's great.
Because I felt bad for not waving and saying hi, but I thought that was really cool.
That is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Some waving me down on the highways now.
Must be tough, buddy.
Yeah. But
that is cool.
So we got to Disney. So we drove down Saturday. We went to Disney on Sunday. So May the 4th, we're at Disney. And okay, I know there's some Star Wars fans out there. I get it. I like Star Wars too. But there's some really weird people at Disney on May the 4th. Really fucking weird. And apparently all of the Jedis are now 300 pounds because and they all carry plastic swords around the park the entire day. I don't get it. But yeah, weird people. What's that?
Lightsabers or swords?
Lightsabers.
Okay.
But we had a good time. We as soon as we got in the park, we literally ran from, we were there at open, and we ran to Rise of the Resistance because we knew we weren't going to get on any other time. And we got on it it was like a half-hour wait as soon as we got in the park, which was pretty good. But yeah, we had a great time. Spent 3 days at Disney, which is 3 days is too much. 2 days is good because the first day, and we had park hoppers, so we were hopping between the 2 parks, and I felt like we almost did every ride the first day because we were just like heads on fire.
Yeah,
Especially my boys were.
but it is like heads on fire, right? Because you have one nerdy person in your crew that knows the app and can figure it out. We got to do this, and then they become hella pushy and annoying, and
Yeah.
or
That was
they really lead the way, and it works out great. But that hardly ever happens.
well, my son Logan was like on a mission. Like he
Yeah,
didn't want to waste 1 minute there, and
yeah,
he's on the app, glued to the app, and he's like, "Hey, in 8.5 minutes, we can get another lightning pass." And da,
yeah,
da, da,
yeah,
da,
yeah.
da. I'm like, and he's booking lightning passes for like the other end of the park
Yeah.
with no regard to like, hey, it's we're going to be ended up walking 50,000 steps today if we do what you want
Right.
to do. But yeah, I was tired after that first day. So yeah, 3 days is a long time at Disney. We were really dragging ass by like the end of the second day, and like day 3, we really slowed down quite a bit. But yeah,
That's
it
cool.
was a good trip. It was great. It was first time in a while we had all of the kids together. We had a couple of great pictures. In fact, most of the time, you're standing in line and they're like, "Oh, how many? Oh, 2, 4," and we're like 9 for the different rides. So yeah, it was good.
That is cool. One time
But
we went with, I have a pretty good, big crew that we go there with back in the day when the kids were younger. And one day we all wore our A's jerseys, the whole crew. And it was like during playoff time. And it was pretty cool. It was a good time because it's Angels territory, you know.
uh, no, Kim made us wear. Um, we had to wear Star Wars T-shirts on May the 4th, any kind of Star Wars, and then on her birthday, everyone wore Disney shirts, like whatever Mickey, whatever.
Right, right.
So yeah,
Nice.
we didn't have like the whole matching family shirt. We weren't geeking out quite that much, but
That's lame. This is my 50th Disney trip. Family. Yeah.
I am the one that was lead. I'm for some reason know exactly where everything is in Disney. Um, and we went like last year, but I don't know. I can find anything, and I always know which direction to go in Disney. So I was the one that was always leading everybody. But
Nice. Well, that's cool.
yeah, it was good.
No, we lost half of our 4 listeners. That's cool. Thank you.
But it was really fun the week before. So we left the Saturday, that the Sunday before is when Cameron actually arrived at our house, because we all drove down, and he's in the military, he's in the Navy, and so he joined us for a week, and I had him in the shop. He had all these grandiose plans. I made him pick one. So he wanted to make a U.S. Navy boarding axe, or a Navy boarding axe. I didn't even know what that was. He had to show me a picture. But that was fun. We spent 2 days making that.
Yeah.
And he burned the fuck out of his hand.
I thought
Um,
that was funny because I didn't think it was funny, but like I had just got there right after he'd done it. I meant to tell you too, like I don't know why Navy people are generally small. They live in small quarters and like, but I and then I just picture the guy was bigger, and
no,
he's
Cam's
Kim. He's like, yeah, and it all made sense. Like
he's a
I was
small
driving
guy.
home, I was like, but yeah, the old grab the hot thing on the on the
He
anvil.
he didn't even grab it. I had just taken something out of that. I was holding something in tongs. Uh, I don't know what the hell I was doing whatever. It's what we were forging. I was holding it in the tongs, and then I put the tongs on top of the anvil. Well, he didn't just go and grab the tongs. He went and like leaned up on the anvil, against the
Oh,
anvil with his
yeah.
hand. So he put all his weight down on the hot end of those tongs.
Oh, jeez.
Um, and I was like, what were you doing? He's like, I don't know. I was just so yeah, he burnt himself, and then the next morning I was kind of, I was giving him tasks to do on the axe, and I was working on the the dagger. I was doing the keyhole. I was trying to press in the wood while he was working on. So I'm already stressed, and then he dumps the bucket that I have under the grinder. Well, I guess he didn't. Whether he didn't hook it on right or something like that, dumped pretty much the entire bucket on the floor of the shop
Oh
while
fuck.
I'm trying, and I'm already like in a bad mood because I'm on like attempt number 3 trying to
Right.
get the keyhole to work. So I'm a little snappy at this point, and then he dumps the entire bucket of water. And I felt bad. I was like, I had to like apologize after and said, I was a little, snippy, but I was under some stress. But yeah, we did manage to finish his axe, and that was really cool.
It came out cool.
Yeah, it was.
I never saw it actually put together, but I did see the head pretty much done.
Yeah, it looks, for those that don't understand what I'm talking about, a boarding axe looks almost much more like a tomahawk than
Yeah.
an axe, and it's got these special little, I don't know, teeth facing backwards at the back half of the blade to to like pry things or something he mentioned, and it's got a spike at the other end. So, yeah, I don't know, but it was fun. It was fun to build.
Nice.
He liked it. So, how are you? I listened to the show last week. Good job.
Oh, thank you. I was we got some pretty good feedback from it all.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed, the obvious joke is not having you there, but the the being with I wanted to like get Ryan to talk about him because
yeah,
out of you think somebody and you interact with them over the years, and then somebody that has a podcast. I was thinking like how much I actually didn't know about like specific him, and which is great because he's genuinely a dude that does not want to talk about him, and so I got to put the screws to him a little bit and like that, but it was interesting, and I enjoyed it. We had a great conversation, and
yeah. You
yeah.
don't hear Ryan talk a lot about his life, about his wife and his kids and his home life very much,
Yeah.
and
The fucker has a moat. I mean, is that not the
right.
coolest thing in the world? I almost like was kicking myself for not like going more moaty on him, but yeah, he's an
Ryan the
emote.
king behind in his castle behind his
Yeah,
moat.
king in the castle, king in the castle.
But all I was thinking through like most of that episode is that no one needs to let him off the leash a little more often.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna try to get him to go, and I'm not gonna cut him off because we don't, we only have like four listeners after this show, so it was good. No, it was a good time though. I'm glad we finally got to finish up that crossover, and I hadn't realized it had been so long since we
Right?
intended to get
Yeah,
that
because
done.
we did 2 weeks of crossovers, but with 4 people, we can't all. The math doesn't totally
Yeah,
math
yeah,
getting that to work.
yeah. It doesn't. I thought it was hilarious that he said he was boycotting the show, but he said it on an episode of Hustle and Grind that I haven't heard. So I was like,
No, I heard it. I
I
remember when
didn't
you
though.
said
So I
it.
thought it was great that he's boycotting the show, but I didn't know. So
It's like if a tree falls in the forest, we
yeah,
didn't hear it.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, that was cool. So yeah, that was cool. I feel like I'm a Zencaster master now.
Good.
I did have to reference the instructions one time though, but
Well, I
thankfully I
forgot I
don't.
sent you
Yeah,
instructions.
I don't delete emails, so I have it forever, kind of like the Maker's Mark. But um, yeah, what did I do this week? Oh, I golfed this week. I had a tournament on Saturday, and man, there's only one thing worse than golfing bad. It's having an extremely long day out there. So when I go with this group, this league, so I like to go out as early as possible. So sun's barely coming up. I want to be teeing off, and I want to be done by 11, if I can, and then be on my way home so I can still have an afternoon here at the house to do whatever. lately because I'm old as fuck now. It's like take a nap and try to recoup from rigorous golf. But we teed off at like 10:40. At 12:40, I was on hole number 7. That's 2
2
hours.
hours?
2 hours for 7 holes.
Wow.
It was just like go hit.
Was there people in front of you? Is that
Oh
why?
yeah. It was like backed up like 3 groups.
Well, I thought you
It
were
was
just hitting a 12 on every.
no. I wish. But I like to golf, pretty fast so I can get, you things aren't going right. You can work things out by, doing it. But when you start and stop, and then you just start and thinking about it. But as shitty as I golfed, we had up to 18. I think we finished at 4:30. It was a long fuck. It was like every bit of 6 hours to get this round in. But we cruised up to 18, and I look at my score, and I'm sitting at 94, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, if I just don't double this hole, I'm
Oh,
gonna.
you were cruising up to 18. I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Okay.
So I had 94, and I was like, no, this is bad. This has not been good. And then I was like, oh shit, all I got to do is, not double this thing, and I'll break 100. That was a good surprise, and I doubled it. But in like good fashion though too. I ended up like just missing the putt for 99, but it was a trip. It was a good day. It wasn't this week, but the week before, or I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I was golfing, and I get a text from my son. And our family, we share our locations with GPS with each other, so we know where everybody's at. This little fucker texts me, "Why are you in the bunker?" In the middle of my round.
Dick.
I was fucking dying. I couldn't believe he did that. Like, that was a pretty good one. I wasn't in the bunker, by the way, but I thought that was funny. I forgot to talk about it, but yeah. So that was cool. That was Saturday. Took up my whole day, and then Sunday was Mother's Day, and Lynn just wanted to chill, kind of have an easy day. So I got in the shop a little bit, but I almost quit knife making this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do tell.
I was working. Again, I have a lot of things going on, right? A lot of things in different stages, and I keep trying to prioritize, maybe trying to finish stuff, and it's just apparently it's just not in my nature, right? So I do as much as I can on one thing until I'm like, I want to go back inside. So then I'll switch to something else. But there was somebody, I can't remember why, but oh, I randomly came across this podcast or YouTube thing about this retired Navy SEAL Jocko. Have you ever heard of him? Jocko Willits or something like that. Anyways, big ass dude, retired Navy SEAL,
No.
kind of like Joe Rogan-ish type thing. But I watched this documentary on him, and this dude every morning on social media, he'll on Instagram, he takes a picture of his watch at like 4:30 a.m. He gets up every day at 4:30, which I get up at, between 4 and 4:32, but he's like getting up to go work out and do all this stuff. And his whole thing was just about like motivation and but more importantly discipline. Like he says, motivation won't get you to do things that you don't want to do. Discipline will. And for whatever reason, that mantra, that whatever that shit's called, was kind of sticking with me. So every time I was like trying to bitch out, I started thinking about that. So I moved on to something else. So we had that handle for the hidden tang that I was working on. It was still a block. And I was like, I'm just going to go, work on that. So I shaped that. And to be honest with you, it was really enjoyable. I was like, for the first time during this build, after I had kind of roughed it out and shaped it, I started to see like what I wanted to see versus what I made. Right. I'm happy with how it came out, but I never really had a vision of what I wanted it to be. Like, as much as how many handles you've seen, I think one of the most feared question that anybody can ask me is like, well, what do you want to do on a build? Like, I can't tell me how many times that you and I have had that same thing. You're like, okay, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. I just don't, like, a lot of times I'm just kind of winging it, and I don't really have that creative direction. That's an admirable trait of yours, is like you have direction and you see things and you're like striving to go it. So you have a picture of it in your mind. And a lot of times I don't. So I end up with, like a free flow form kind of making approach to things. But when I got the knife shaped and I was starting to feel it and handle it and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, now I actually know the next time what I want to do, like how I wanted to see, how I wanted to, feel. And that was really cool. So it was one of those cool moments of making for me, where you're doing something kind of just by blind faith almost, and then you see it like, and so I was sanding it, and I did kind of square the block up a lot better than that. Was a couple of jokes we were having a couple of weeks back about me not being able to square anything up, but so I was seeing that, and so I ground in the chamfers, and I started sanding it, and it wasn't quite right. Like, things were kind of off, and then I was making it worse as I was sanding it, because I'd seen some people will, put it in a vise and sand it with a stick. Other people put it on a stone and just kind of, run the handle against on a surface.
Yeah.
Stone. And somewhere in between one of those two methods, I got cattywampus on some things, and the symmetry kind of came out. But as I was trying to, fix that up, I try to take it out of the fucking vise, and bloop, it pops out of my hand, falls onto my shop floor, and the bolster pops right off. And I just lost it. Like, you want to talk about like it might as well been like a bucket of ferric acid or something on my concrete. Like, I fucking lost it. I was so pissed. And for whatever reason, I was like, it was like doom and gloom. Like, I just, the whole, like, I put all this work into this thing, and then I got to start over now, and I'm gonna have to redo the guard. You like, I didn't, it just like, it just a train of negativity just like came on. And so I did end up just getting pissed off and going inside and eating something or something. And then I went back out and I tried to grind some bevels on another knife.
Probably a bad
And
idea.
it was bad. Yeah, it was not good. And I was like, just really, I wasn't patient. I kept bumping into the platen. I was doing, I got to fix I think I got to take, for whatever reason, my Tobin jig is not platen. And then the jig is kind of, it's getting on
It's
an
off a
angle.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll mess you
So,
up. You got to fix that.
yeah. So, and I was kind of trying to like free ball and work that. And then I nicked the middle of the blade, and then I was like, fuck it. So I went back to the rest. And, while I was on the rest, I don't know. I wasn't taking my time, and I had too big of a gap between the rest and the platen, and I dumped the
Oh,
edge down,
you got
and
the
it
wedge.
got the fuss, scared the shit out of me, dinged my knife up, and yeah, I'm surprised that thing didn't get torture tested. I was angry, and then I was just like, that's it, I'm done. I'm never gonna do this again. And
And it started with the bolster thing, which wasn't even that bad of an issue.
yeah, and then when I was inside though, like, while I was eating, I was like, well, I mean, I know I could fix it. I can glue it. And then I'm like, but I'm always like, sometimes I have this like paralyzing fear of, I believe I know the answer. Like, I'm like 99%. Like, we didn't do anything today that I hadn't thought of. It's just, I was afraid that maybe I was like going to miss a step or do something, and it was going to be like, unfixable or something like that. So I made it 10 times worse in my head than it actually was. Right. And then
That
plus the bevels and everything else, like the grinding. So it started off really well, like a really good afternoon. And then it ended up with me like, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to sell everything I have, and I'm going to fucking like, it was bad. It went from like super, on a cloud, and down to like, I'm done.
it gets back to that, you know, for me, and you say about how I pre-think about. Um, well, this dagger is the first one I've done in a while where I did not have a plan beyond it was going to be a keyhole. beyond that, I do not have a plan. Like for almost every one of my knives, I have a design and knife print. This one, I did not have a design. I was winging it for pretty much everything. I didn't know what the quillions were going to look like. I didn't know what the pommel was going to look like until this morning, where I finalized what the quillions and the pommel and all that stuff was going to look like. But I'm lying in bed last night knowing that I was going to make the quillions today. So the
Right.
quillions tap into the, so this is like where my mind goes, because I have to figure out what is going to be the order of operation.
Right.
Because I spent 6 hours on the lathe today. That was my day, pretty much, on the lathe, turning those quillions and that thing, trying to figure out how it's going to do this. What is the order of operation? It's got a ball at one end. It's got threading at the other. How do I do this without taking it out of the lathe? Anyway, so everything going around in my head. So I get it. I know exactly what you mean about things getting frustrating. Everything went well today, actually, but I know
Yeah.
what it's like when things don't.
Yeah. And it's been a while because I mean, and I have to remind myself too, is that, I haven't been in the shop much. So like the reps aren't there. It's just part of the process. Whatever process I'm in, that's what I'm in. And I don't have a lot of patience, especially for the stage of where everything is at. It's really at the lame parts of hand sanding and,
Yeah.
finishing. So I'm trying to like get over that hump to where I can get motivated. So I thought, grinding the bevels would be something good to just mindlessly go after it. But I was not in the right headspace for that. But
Yeah. I got to be in a really like positive mental space to do bevels.
yeah, I
Like
mean, time and time.
after you left, we had dinner, and then I was like, oh, I went out there, or before dinner, sorry, I went out in the shop. I had an hour, and I wanted to do the final bevels on that dagger, and I was in a good spot. Took my time, and I knew I could get it done. And I was like on the final grit, right? I'm, getting everything. But if I'm not in a good headspace, I don't like to do grinding.
No, I shouldn't have done it. But again, and then earlier in the week, I had to have a handful of knives that I just needed to sharpen. So I did that. I sharpened up the Maker's Camp slicer thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been sitting in my shop, dull. So I sharpened that up the other day. That's a funny story. Is that for whatever reason, um, like I love the sharpening attachment and going on the grinder, but I got the Wicked Edge, and right now, anyways, it's like I'm finding this little peaceful zone of using that. Get to this slicer, which is pretty long, right? So I got to kind of go in stages on it, and
That's when
and
the Wicked Edge is not fun.
it's not, yeah, it was, but again, I'm choosing to do this, and I was aware of everything that I was doing, except that everything that I've been sharpening has been ground really thin, and this is not like really an exception, but so I've always used the 200 stone to start. I didn't even fucking realize, Dennis, that
There's an
inside the
80.
base, there's two fucking stones of like 40 and 80 or some ridiculously
50 and
low.
80. Yeah.
Yeah. And I looked in there and I was like, you motherfucker. I've sharpened like fucking 8 knives on that thing without ever even knowing that. I'm like, oh my God, what a dumbass I am. I probably ruined the 200 stone just going over and getting after it for hella long. But
That's
yeah,
why I bought those 50, 80 stones, because it was taking forever to
set that,
sharpen, like
yeah,
set
set
the
that
apex
initial
of the
go.
200.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
those the 200 is the ones that it comes with.
Because yeah, then I just never looked in there. I don't even know why I even noticed them this time, but it was funny. So I sharpened that. I finished up your guys' knife, um, and
Which I used today to cut up some tomatoes at dinner. Uh, that thing's sharp as fuck.
yeah, it is sharp.
Super thin. I love it.
Nice, good.
Yes, very
I'm glad it
nice.
got used. How did you like the grip tech?
It was very, very good. It was. did not slide out of my hand once. It feels really nice, and that's a pretty small knife to begin with, so you do need something kind of grippy on it.
Yep.
So yeah, it is my first time. I mean, I've held blocks, but it's the first time I've really held and used a knife with grip tech on it.
Nice.
And I love it. It's cool stuff. So if you guys want to check out some really cool handle material, go check out um, Grip Tech and get yourself some of that. So I'm looking for the ad that I'm doing a terrible. So go to Rock Solid Scales, get yourself some Grip Tech, and use the discount code Triple T10. Um, it's good stuff. I love it.
Yeah. And yeah, not only do they have grip tech, but they got, you know, regular stabilized wood, epoxy. They got all kinds of stuff. So make sure you go check out that website and show them some love. And like Dennis said, use the Triple T10 discount code for 10% off. I enjoyed it. I was showing the knife to a coworker today, and he wouldn't let it go. He just like, and I was actually getting irritated because like I'm happy to show people things I'm working on, but when they're done, like I get really apprehensive about, because like you give it to regular people, they're gonna start touching the blade, they're gonna put their
They start
fingerprints on.
shaving hair off their arms.
Yeah, they start doing like, oh, and I'm like, it's sharp, dude, and he like starts flicking the edge with his finger. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna fucking cut your, like pull a, like a Rick moment on me. And but yeah, he would not stop like rubbing the handle, and like, it was just like really intrigued with the grippiness of the grip tech. And then I was like, bro, I'm like, you're gonna smudge and dirty this fucking thing up, and I gotta give it to to the owners tonight. Like, let it go, you weirdo. But no, it was good. And then so yeah, grip tech for the win for sure. I'm looking forward to the next build that I'm gonna do with that. And then to get that nice, to bring out the luster on it, I used the Pelican oil, which
Nice.
works a lot better on that. For me, anyways, to my preference was the Pelican oil really, really brought out the colors on that, as opposed to the wax. So if you're in the market for some premium wax for all kinds of your waxy needs, go check out Travis Haynes at Pelican Paste. He's got hard wax, soft wax, the Pelican oil that I'm talking about, hand solve, hand soap, and a bunch of other stuff coming. I think he's debuting some new things at Blade Show too. He's
Very
got
cool.
some like a challenge coin deal that he's put up on his website. You can purchase a challenge coin, get some discounts, get access to some stuff there at Blade Show. Just trying to raise some money to fund the trip ahead of time for Atlanta. But yeah, Pelican Paste, you can use the discount code Triple T10 for 10% off your purchase there. And yeah, go show Travis some love. I'm looking forward to seeing him and all the cool stuff he's bringing in Atlanta, along with everybody else. But yeah, it's Travis's moment right now, so back off. Yeah, and then I don't know why. So last week's episode, Ryan was telling me that he used the Pelican Paste to bed a tang. For whatever reason,
I've
I
done that.
yeah, I was just like, oh my god, that's so genius. And like and he was looking at me like, bro, this isn't like anything new. He said it like 3 times. And I was like, no, we got like that's great. Let's talk about it. Like, cause I'm trying to, all the different uses you can do, for the wood handles, for hammers, for your rest, like all the stuff that Pelican Paste is good for. And you can also use it for bedding tangs. And then, anyways, I was reading the notes today, and I see it in here, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's like you're supposed to use wax to bed the tang.
Well,
And I'm like, motherfucker, like, I don't know. It was like the most amazing genius thing to me last week or whatever it was. And I'm like, oh, I feel kind of stupid here. So my bad, Ryan, even though you're not listening.
I have used wax in the past. I find you have to definitely use a soft wax like Pelican Paste. Like if you use some of like the carnauba wax or something like the harder waxes.
Yeah.
It doesn't spread as evenly and you'll miss a spot, and then that spot will stick like fuck. And it can, I personally use Vaseline, just because I find it releases a little easy. And yes, you got to clean it out, and you just dump a little acetone in there and it comes out.
Right.
But I have used wax, but I'm running low on the Pelican Paste soft wax, so I don't use it for that. But yeah, of course, you can definitely use it for that.
You can, but
Yeah.
it's unfortunately Ryan was not the first person to think of that. So
No.
my bad. Yeah, so finished all that stuff up, and so again had a fairly productive week, past couple weeks anyways in the shop. It's been good to actually have some time, making some time to get in there, and I was happy to get a knife done and out the door. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, when I was working on that keyhole, I definitely had some trials and tribulations. I wasn't ready to quit knife making, but I was definitely pissed off. And one of the I thought I went through a good 15 minutes of, oh my god, I'm going to have to scrap this build, and I've been working on that build for like over a month. And this is of course the part that I was dreading, but I was following I forget who I forget who's credited for this method, but the method of you do your keyhole and then you grind the inside of the keyhole at a 1 degree angle.
Is it Jocko dude?
No, he credited somebody else, and it's
Gotcha.
one of the Brazilian guys, I think,
Okay.
for coming up with this method. But they grind a 1 degree angle, and then you press the wood from, which is odd. You press the wood from the wide side towards the narrow side. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't start with like a big block. Like it was relatively narrow around like the outside of the keyhole kind of thing. Like the thickness was like probably less than a quarter and a quarter of an inch in a couple spots. So when I pressed, and I didn't realize this until my second attempt, my first attempt had like 3 big gaps. Second attempt, and like you got to microwave the block and get the block of wood and get it warm and press it in and da 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 da. Second attempt, I had gaps in the same areas and I couldn't understand why. And then I realized that because I took some measurements, and me pressing the wood in was spreading because it was at an angle, it was actually spreading out the steel.
Oh.
Because it's like a wedge, right? And it was wedging out the steel, which was now causing a gap. And then once I realized that, I'm like, fuck it. Remove the 1 degree, reground the inside of the keyhole, and then instead of microwaving the block, like I kind of placed it, and then which, somebody wants to use this technique, it actually works. I sat there with a heat gun and heated up the block with the heat gun as I was pressing it in. And I used my vise on the mill because it has like a big flat face.
What'd you call me? Oh no.
And that worked, and worked pretty flawlessly. Actually, there's no gaps. It's a perfect fit up. So yeah, but it was really touch and go there for like 15 minutes. I thought, because it was spreading, I'm like, oh shit, this is never going to work. It's going to keep doing this. And had to do some problem solving, and yeah.
That's
But
cool. I got a bunch of messages that I let you off the hook when you were talking about pressing or fitting your wood into something, and I was like, "Guys, I can't nail them all, but I'm sorry for."
Well, a couple of those we had already said to each other, like when when I told you in the shop, we were like, "Oh yeah, that one's too easy."
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got rung up a little bit over that. So
Yeah,
but
I'm glad to have that dagger. Like actually, the whole thing I showed you when you were here today, all of the pieces are done now, and I just did the final grinding.
The quillians look fucking awesome, dude. Like,
Good, thank you.
yeah, I was like, I was holding the knife and I was messing with you with the whole like, how does the handle feel thing. But when I was looking at those, I was like, those things look awesome.
And I had to do those separately.
Yeah.
There's had two of them and I had to make them look identical. So that's why I was like 6 hours on the lathe today.
Impressive, dude. Those, they came out really good and they look cool too.
Yeah, I think they'll
Like,
look even better when they're black. So
yeah, for sure. For
yeah,
sure. So it's coming together nicely, man.
yeah.
I'm digging it.
I have that calendar in the back of my head of exactly I got to get the dagger done this week, and get that out there, so that I got finish work on folders that I'll probably be able to do in a week. Should easily be able to do in a week, and then I got sheaths for like 6 knives to do.
Oh, I got to do a couple too.
Yeah, and actually, it reminds me I got to order some leather. And then I got to sharpen a bunch of knives. So, and
got
I
a
want to
bunch.
have 3 or 4 days of breathing room.
Yeah,
So
I could see that. Yeah, one of the last things I have to do on the Intrepid I was showing you too. For whatever reason, I always forget this, and I think you actually mentioned this on one of your like beginner series videos a few months back, whenever that was. But um, while I'm sanding the blade, I always like, I think the spine where the handle is, that gets attention by default of, you know, shaping the handle. I always fucking forget for whatever reason to do the top side, the spine on the blade.
oh,
And I etched this thing and it's an AEBL knife, and I etched it with Gator Piss Heavy, and I have some decarb on the top there. So I got to redo this etch. But yeah, I've just been kicking myself for like, and it would never really, if it was just doing a satin finish, I would have never, because
yeah.
it's sanded, but it's not apparently not very well. I don't know. But I was just kicking my head about, not kicking my head, kicking myself about, you know, like following the process. And why does that particular area just like elude me? Because I would be really close to being done with that thing. I'd just have to buff the handle now, but now I got to go do all that stuff. But speaking of Gator Piss Heavy, and all of the other premium etchants that Baker Forge and Tool has, those are all ready and rocking. I think that I saw some video of them shipping out. So, yeah, go put your order in for the Gator Piss Heavy for that really blacked out finish, the Gator Piss Max for stainless steel, and the good old fashioned reliable standard Gator Piss for regular Damascus, as well as all their awesome pattern welded steel that they do. This week's drop is Copper My Damascus Core in both Surge and Rainbow. It's probably gone now. It never gets old for me to say that again, but one day
It
someone's
shows
going to
that
be sleeping on.
those guys are in business to move product.
Yes. And there's obviously a bunch of people taking advantage of the Baker Forge and Tool app that gets you 1 day early access to all of the drops. So if you're not doing that, go download the app, take advantage of that, load up the cart with a bunch of awesome steel, Gator Piss, and all the other cool stuff they have, and you can use the discount code T10 for 10% off. That's TTT10.
I was talking to Parker. I had Parker in the shop today because he's making some scoops for Blade Show. But we were talking about, if things go extremely well and I have some extra time, I may do a couple more folders, like the Sand Tiger folders, the one you have and he has.
Tiger
And
Tears folder.
And I have some of that stainless Damascus that we made with koi, and would like to use that. And I was just wondering to myself, when is he going to be in production on his stainless line? I'm going to have to grill him about that at Blade Show and see what his ETA is for that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I don't he's got a new product coming out, but he said was imminent. But I haven't heard much about it, so I'm waiting. Maybe he's going to announce it at Blade Show.
Maybe not. We don't know.
Yeah,
but we know you don't. So sorry. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I feel like I'm flexing. But yeah, so Baker Forge and Tool. Looking forward to see Coin the Boys here in a couple weeks now. That's going to be awesome.
You know, it was fun to come home. So one of the other things when I was with Cam, we tried to cut that steel for his axe on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
My janky bandsaw, and it seized up the one that I thought I had fixed with the new bearing, which it turns out I don't think it was the bearing, but I got so pissed off. I ordered a jet bandsaw like right there. And then when I got home from Disney, there's my brand new
tools on arrival.
Yeah. And after using that thing, man, I don't know why I waited so long to buy.
Because you're a cheap ass. That's why. Let me just tell you, you're a cheap ass.
Because I was thinking, oh, the old one works. The new one is so awesome. The liquid cooled, like the flood coolant for this. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
And
new tools
I got a
are
new
awesome.
rest for my disc grinder too. A tilting rest for my disc grinder.
All on arrival, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it was like Christmas Day when I got home. So it is the second happiest place on earth.
Yeah. That is cool. I think the only thing I bought that came that I was stoked about was I got this little okay. All right. Use your imagination, guys, but it's like a little claw that you can screw into the top of your golf club, and it's a ball picker upper.
Oh, yeah.
So I've officially joined the old dudes thing where I am.
You don't want to bend over.
I don't want to bend over and pick my ball up out of the hole. So I got this little $6 attachment thing on the belt that I screwed in the top of my putter, and it works great. It works so good that a couple times I plunge it in the hole, pick the thing up, go back, stick my club back in my bag, and then I get up to the next hole to tee off, and I'm like, where the fuck is my ball? It's in the bottom of my bag and the putter in the little holder thing. That threw me for a loop.
Fuck.
Oh, it's so awesome.
I would definitely have one of those.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They're badass. I got another lame putter thing too, but I got the Putter Buddy, it's called.
The Putter Buddy?
Yeah. It's like this little, and the crazy thing is, I wasn't even going to talk about it, but I think it is that it is it's like a, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 3/8, I don't know, there's some round bar that somebody's twisted. And basically it has like a U shape. You stick it into the ground, and it comes out vertical, and there's like a little like U thing at the top of it where you can take like a couple of wedges and your putter. Because when you're walking up to the green, you have to lay them down on the ground, and the grass is wet, your grips get wet, so you can actually like prop them up on the.
That is so lame.
It's really cool, actually. But
why don't you just leave them in your bag?
Because you need them. Like sometimes you don't know if you need a 56 or a 60, or you never know what you're gonna where your balls.
It's because you're using a cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not walking. You crazy? Yeah, out of your goddamn mind. I'm buying attachments so I don't have to bend over to pick my ball up. You think I'm gonna walk? What is wrong with you, dude? Yeah, but the whole time, I ordered it, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, why didn't I just make this? I'll show it.
You should have made it a Damascus and
great idea.
Copper.
Yeah. I mean, all you do is with the induction forge, just fucking heat up a couple spots, make a couple twists and bends, and I could have made my own.
Yeah, you could have put a little sign on your golf cart, putting them for sale.
Yeah. Oh, somebody would probably be mad. But yeah, it looked pretty damn easy to make, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I don't know why I didn't do that." But, yeah, all right. I don't know how I got there, but I did.
Lost opportunity.
It is a lost opportunity. So I got to go back to Washington in a couple or next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to miss a show?
No, I'm
Oh.
going Wednesday to Friday, so we'll be fine. But I've been, I think I told Steve last week, whatever. Anyways, so I was going to hook up with our buddy Steve Lockwood. Lockhart? Yeah.
Lockhart.
Yeah. Lockhart. And he was kind enough to make me this jig thing that we were going to try to connect with next time I was up there. And you were kind of saying, hey, you should go fishing. So he actually hit me up and he's like, dude, you should totally ask me to go fishing. And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, that was obviously I was going to get, you know, a little appreciation for the jig first before I hit you up for something else. But I'd love to, because that's I absolutely love to fish. So we were going to try to put something together, and then but it just turns out that he was kind of not ranting, but going on and on about how the game and fishing wards and all that crap up there have like they regulate the times and the seasons for things. It's like super weird. Like you can just get these random windows where you can go after this particular fish. But it turns out salmon is on the week that I'm there.
Oh, nice.
Nice. So we're gonna go out on the Columbian, and I mean we're gonna go fishing. Not, I mean, hopefully we catch, but yeah. So I'm stoked about that. It's gonna
You
work
could
out.
you could well, you can't literally, but it looks like you could almost hit a golf ball into the river from where his house is.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he's really close.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna fly in on Wednesday, go to the office for a second, and then head back, and we're gonna go out. So I'm stoked about that. I've never been salmon fishing. I know there's a couple times out here in Sacramento area you can try to
Oh,
get
it's
them.
nothing like there though.
Yeah, no, not a chance. So I'm stoked about that. So looking forward to that. It's a little bright spot to having to travel again right before I got to come back, and then we leave to Atlanta. I think I have one more week after that, but
Yeah, at least one more.
yeah, that'll make 4 trips there this year.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy, but yeah, so I'm stoked about that. And then who do you got for Maker Spotlight?
I know we've talked about this person, but he's got a new account. So I figured I would bring up Mr. Spencer Sanderson, and no longer at Heavy Forge, is now Sanderson Steel. So
What?
if he changed his whole branding away from Heavy Forge to Sanderson Steel. So his Instagram is now Sanderson. That's SANDISON _steel. That's steel with 2 E's. Sanderson Steel, because the whole thing of him making his own steel, and he's still got the same logo of the big muscly arm. But yeah, he decided I'm all for it. I think having your name in your forge name or maker's mark or whatever is always a good idea. So I was all for it when he posed the question: should he change his the name of his, like, not only, I think he's changing his YouTube channel and everything. So yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Apparently I already follow that page, so I don't know
Yeah.
how I missed it, but
Well,
I'm
because
on board.
he was Heavy Forge before, so he just renamed it.
Oh, it's the same,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he changed it. Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. I thought he like made a new account. I was like, that's dangerous.
No, same account, but has rebranded it to Sanderson Steel.
Nice.
So and yeah, he's. I'm wondering when his beer is going to come out, because he's got his own beer coming out from Anchorage Forge.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
wondering when that's going to get released.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually been released yet, but
But I am really enjoying these tiger tears. They're badass.
Yeah. I
It is
see
badass.
Gabe got a big mention in Blade Magazine this month. Got a
He
whole
got a big
spread.
mention, but not only that, but he flew to, I think, New Zealand?
No,
Some
Austria.
Austria,
He's
sorry.
at the Austrian, was at the
Austrian knife,
Austrian Knife Show.
yeah, flew over there and won an award and came back home, so congrats, bro, that's awesome. That
Yeah,
knife is a banger anyways, it's like,
yeah.
that's almost cheating.
Plus, he's got one of his knives on the cover of Blade Magazine this month, so he's
That
hitting it
guy,
on all fronts.
he's on fire, dude.
Yeah,
He is on fire. If there is one maker that we have right now that just, like, comes shooting out of, the obscurity into just awesomeness, it's Gabe. That's been amazing to
yeah,
watch, man.
definitely,
He's
definitely
got
on fire.
got a lot of cool things going on. But that was not the guy I was going to talk about. I have our buddy Justin Miller at Florida Man Forge. Everybody's favorite Florida man, Mr. Justin Miller. He's got a bunch of cool things, and he's always doing really awesome stuff. And the funny dude, if he's a great follow, I oftentimes just kind of like watching him go back and forth with the guys on Facebook every now and again. They, him and Nick and Nate, they go back and forth, and a lot of good times in there. But he made Brent this big ass chopper, and it is one of my favorite knives that I've seen and held. And I think it is just because very rarely do you see a knife and like it kind of invokes everything about the maker, right? But when I held this thing, like immediately that's who I thought of, and I like asked him who made it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's Justin," because it's finished the way he does his work. It's just a badass knife, and Justin, I want one. So yeah, there you go. But it was really cool. So but yeah, he's always doing really cool shit. Hello Blacksmith, got a fucking badass shop. Was even featured in a local news thing about, the art of blacksmithing not too long ago. Did a good interview there. But yeah, so I just want to shout out our buddy Justin Miller from Florida Man Forge. He's got 2,199 followers. And yeah, that's it. So go check out Spencer and Justin, and if you're not following them, get out from under the rock you guys are on under. And if you are following them, just shoot them a message and tell them you heard them here, and tell them the boys at Triple T say what's up.
What's up?
What up?
You know who's not under a rock?
I have a guess, but
Frank. Frank's never under a rock. That man is up and around.
yes, he is.
And like Ryan said last week, the most dapper man at Blade Show.
For sure.
Uh,
Definitely the most dapper man in a skirt.
hey, don't call it a skirt to get offended.
Who?
It's a kilt.
Oh, thank you. I'm just a dumb Mexican. I don't know these things.
But if you need a hammer, you got to go check out Frank at Two Basterds, Texas Smithy and Supplies. He will get you set up. I still remember the first time I told you, but we talked about him on the show, and I remember saying, yeah, he had like 12 hammers around his kilt, and I could not figure out what was holding up that kilt. He was the same last year, maybe not quite as many, but definitely go check out Two Basterds for all your hammer needs, your straight peens, cross peens, curvy peens, because Jerid,
I don't know, man. I heard it one time, and it just sticks with me because it is grand to have a fat peen in your hand.
That's right.
Yeah. Little birdie told me that one time.
A little birdie?
Yeah.
And I am very much looking forward to seeing our buddy Lawrence Lake at Maritime at Blade Show, but Lawrence Lake from Maritime Knife Supply. I was just talking to Lawrence the other day. Getting a little order placed from him to get some new belts. And yeah, looking forward. Yeah, don't be pointing at yourself.
It's the worst deal I've ever not been a part of.
uh, but looking forward to see Lawrence. He's always cool to hang out with. Good guy to know, and good guy to do business with. So you need anything knife related, steel, abrasives, tooling, you name it, like epoxy. It surprises me every time I go on that website and I look for stuff that, like, he had those the DROs for your drill. He had all kinds of stuff up there.
I always end up going into the tool section and just like picking a random thing that I don't need but I don't have. Apparently I don't have a protractor, so that's in my cart right now.
A protractor.
Yeah.
I remember when I did the copper katana and I accidentally called a protractor. Okay, folks, I've been out of school for a long time, even though I'm a math major, and I confused protractor with compass. And I said compass, and I've been corrected so many times. I'm like, yeah, it was just an editing issue. I
I
should have
don't think I've
said
ever used a protractor. So not only
what?
do I not have one, but I don't think I've ever used one.
I've probably used one 4 times in the last 5 years for knife making.
Yeah. But you know where you can find it?
Maritime Knife Supply.
That's right.
I didn't know that, but now I do.
Whether it's high demand or just you kind of just want to have something else in your shop, go check out Lawrence from Maritime Knife Supply. And yes, I am looking forward to seeing our good buddy here pretty quick.
I had to buy a new tool just yesterday. You're going to laugh at this one. I had to buy a ball turner.
Enlighten me. Roll me up here with this thing because I have no idea what
A ball turner.
is. That like a titty twister?
It's a lathe tool for turning those perfect spheres, like the ones for the dagger. I didn't just magically do those. I needed a ball turner.
That's fantastic.
I had to turn my balls.
Oh my God. While I was golfing in Milpitas at Valley Springs Golf Course, in the back 40, somewhere in the back 9, there was a whole gang of people doing the Denis Tyrell turkey call.
Were they actually turkeys?
Everywhere. It was just like I turn around and I say, "Oh yeah." I didn't have my phone with me like close enough. Like I'd go up to the tee box and sing, and I would just hear them just going off. It were actually turkeys, or some animal. But I couldn't. It just didn't work out to where I had my phone because I would have ran over to the side of the fence to record this and made a great reel.
Look what I got right on my. I didn't even realize it was right in front of me.
Yeah, it's
protractor,
ain't it? But yeah, I was laughing. I wish I had my phone to make the reel because I would have. Hey Dennis, oh yeah, it was fantastic. But yeah, I need a haircut really bad. My barber's
yeah, I want to go to Atlanta with you, you shaggy old.
Yeah, I'm part of the fucking animal crew. What's up, boys? It's been a solid 6 weeks right now. My barber's MIA for a while, and I don't think he's coming back for a couple weeks. So,
what do you mean your barber's MIA?
I don't know. I went to go book an appointment 3 weeks ago, and I couldn't get a hold of him. So I got a random text from him saying that he was stepping away for a minute, but he would be back in a couple weeks. So, but I was like, well, shit, man, you're gonna
is your head that complicated? Someone else at the place can do it.
Super. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Very particular about what chair I sit in. So I had this guy. I went to a
he
place.
Has that special touch that you like? Is that
dude? Yeah, it's
does
the massage.
Does he do the inseam?
It's the massage at the end. Yeah, it's really good. It gets good. I'm like, could you do my eyebrows? And he's like, yeah. Do you want anything else? And I'm like, I mean, like, how comfortable are you with me? Is manscaping's on the menu or what? Dude. Yeah, but I went to the same person I went like for probably 10 plus years before I switched over to this. And the only reason why I did that was because of COVID. Everybody was shut down and he was cutting hair in his garage. So, yeah, I don't just walk into random places to do that. So, and then, yeah, I think we paid all the bills and.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually really happy we did the sponsors in the reverse order that we normally do. We need to do that more often.
Yes.
Because we're usually always doing them in
top to bottom.
Top to bottom. We need to change it up.
Slap it up, flip it, and rub it, flip it around. Get those sponsors from
flip
the
it around
side.
and do it doggy style.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So, one last thing before we go here. It randomly rained this morning.
It did. I was happy because I planted a garden over the weekend.
Oh, pretty cool. Good for you. But yeah, so it's been kind of randomly heating up. It's been nice. It's been, like Bay Area hot, like in the miserable, like low 80s. Horrible, absolutely. But that's a 20-degree, increase in temperature from our preferred 70, right? Even though that's 10, but whatever. Any math majors there might have caught that. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
I said low 80s and I said 20 degrees different from our preferred 70s. Anyways, it rained this morning and I was on my way into work and I go through this beautiful mountain range. I live probably about as country as I can get from the city before you actually go into like the agricultural and farmlands and shit. So I have a nice little mountain range that I go through that for the winter time, it's about to end. It's about to turn into the fucking brown mountains of
it's already brown
crap. Yeah. But when it's green, it's really nice. But I go through and what do I see through the mountain range? Double rainbows. So I took that opportunity, came up with this little thing all by myself, and I texted a select few people, hey.
What? I wasn't the only one? I feel slighted now.
Oh, no. There's be other people that are slighted, but I texted a handful of people because I thought it was hilarious. I was so proud of myself. I go, hey man, I saw your I sent a picture of the double rainbows and said, hey, are you okay? I saw your bat signal.
Did you send that to Rick?
No, I forgot about Rick. Fuck.
That was the one you should have sent it to.
Oh, Rick, you'll get yours tomorrow. It's gonna be the gift that keeps on giving. But I sent it to a handful of people, but it was pretty fucking funny. So, yeah, that's the name of the episode is freaking double rainbow bat signals.
All right, we'll use that. All right.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right. The bat signal is off.
Yes. We do have a really good theme song. There's not a single person other than us that doesn't just jam out when this is that. They're just like boom, 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 boom. And that's a wrap.